Hi, Kurosh here, and today I'll be introducing you to the new and improved features of Luxota in version 3.48. In this release, there are 3 new features, 2 improved features, and 2 bug fixes. The first new feature is about optimizing our search engine, especially for flights. Extensive search time was one of the common problems that our customers were facing while using Luxota, and the reason for that is the high number of suppliers we have on the back end of the system. While making a simple flight search such as Istanbul to London, our system calls more than 18 suppliers, including all kinds of airlines and companies, to get a price from and has to wait for their response. Once all the responses are collected, the system has to integrate them and show all of them to you. That's why our system takes a bit longer than other platforms to show the search results. To address the issue, our technical team did some research and found out that on some routes, like Istanbul to London, which I mentioned as an example before, some airlines such as Fly Baghdad and Air Arabia have no flights. Therefore, we shouldn't waste any time calling those airlines in the first place. Based on these findings, we created some reports in the back office, which shows exactly what suppliers has been called for each search and what answers that supplier has brought back. Now, by analyzing the data at hand, you can easily determine which suppliers the system should call for any search and which ones to ignore. Now, how to analyze this data and how to add or ignore a supplier for a specific search, I'll explain in detail later. The second new feature is the customization of the platform you have in your possession. The Luxota platform that you purchase comes with certain features which are used for common needs of any travel agency. But we are also aware that some agencies require special features that cannot be embedded into the core of the Luxota system as it meddles with the common features. But the good news is our technical team has resolved the issue by means of external plugins, which makes the requirements for customization limitless without making any changes to the system core. Acquiring a payment gateway for new travel agencies and for any new business for that matter, because of the documents they have to provide to the bank, can be a time-consuming and somehow troublesome process. Therefore, as the third new feature, we have added the Zarinpal gateway to the list of gateways. Now let's take a look at the 2 improved features in release 3.48. Since Luxota is an international platform and is being used by travel agencies all over the world, showing date and time as local date and time was of great importance to our technical team. One of the places this matter was missed out on and was showing the date and time in Greenwich was the booking list page, which is now corrected from this version onwards. If you ever spot any other place in the platform where this is not the case, feel free to contact our support team to address the issue. As for the second improved feature, in previous versions, if someone would apply for a visa, a notification email was sent only when the visa was issued. But from release 3.48 onwards, there is also an email notification sent when someone first applies for a visa. Here I am in dashboard page of the back office. In order to see the reports for each supplier's search results, I have to go to the reports menu and then supplier monitoring submenu. As you can see, all suppliers for all services have been listed here. In order to see the suppliers for a specific service, I click on this menu and choose, for example, flights. Now I can see all the suppliers for flights. Every square represents a flight search on the marketplace and the results that each supplier has brought back. For example, Parto has brought the most results back for flight search, indicating by these green squares. If we scroll further, we can see more results for each supplier. Green squares means that this supplier has brought back good results. White squares means that this supplier has not been called for this search. And gray squares mean that this supplier has brought back no results at all. Finally, the red squares means that this supplier has been called for this specific search but has had problem bringing any results back. As we scroll down, we see more information about each supplier. For example, Amadeus has been called for flight search about 17 times. It has taken about 2 seconds for our API to call for Amadeus, and Amadeus has taken about 3 seconds to respond. And about 17% of the times, Amadeus has failed to provide any response. Now, if you go to reports dropdown and click on supplier/route monitoring, we can see each search one by one and all the suppliers which have been called to bring back a result. For example, Istanbul to Tehran 200 plus times has been searched. These suppliers have been called to bring the results back. None of them brought any results back except for CityNet. The next one, Bahrain to Istanbul has been searched 200 plus times. All the suppliers have been called to bring a result back, and only Parto supplier has brought good results. Now, in order to optimize our search engine and reduce our search waiting time, we can go ahead and eliminate the suppliers which brought back no results for each search. All we need to do is go to pricing rules dropdown, access list, and for example flights. Now we can click on routes/suppliers access list and create a new rule. Set our origin, for example Istanbul to Tehran, and save. Now by clicking this bar, we can choose which suppliers should be called when a search for Istanbul to Tehran is done. If you go to setting dropdown, payment gateways, and then gateways management, as you can see, Zarimpal gateway has been added for the benefit of travel agencies in Iran. Here I am in booking list page, and as you can see, the local date and time is set to be shown here, while in previous versions it was set to Greenwich time. From the setting dropdown, if I go to notifications and then events, as you can see, we already had a notification for when a visa is issued. Now from this version on, we also have a notification for when a visa is requested first.